Msgr Jamie, and welcome to a brand new episode of Breaking Bread. Today we have a very special guest with us. He was a chef from Brooklyn, now he expanded to Staten Island, and he is one of Brooklyn's icons, so don't go away. Welcome back to Breaking Bread. On today's episode, we have an iconic chef with us from Butchie's, and today we have with us Pete Marcolini. Pete, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
So tell me, Butchie's. I remember 23 years ago, my first assignment, St. Patrick's in Bay Ridge, and everyone talked about Butchie's Bakery. And at the time, it was a wholesale place.
Yes.
Right? So now how did you open a restaurant?
My father started this distribution business upstate and in Connecticut.
Okay, so you were a kid then?
Yeah.
23 years ago.
Yeah, he used to put me in the car on the weekends, and we used to go up there and sell whatever we could. And little by little, we got to know Frank Santo, who owns Butchie, and Irene, who is the icon. And we started wholesaling her cake.
I remember the sampler. That was my favorite. That's what you're known for.
Yes.
Every slice is different.
Yep. And after a while, through time, we got out of the wholesale business, and Frank approached us, and he says, let's do something together. What do you want to do? We said, we're going to open up a cafe in Staten Island. We searched, and we found a place in Tottenville on Arthur Kill Road.
I just passed there recently. I was passing bar, and I saw Butchie's.
Yes. And we decided, you know what, let's try some lunch. And we started some lunch items, and everybody seemed to like the food.
Paninis and salads.
Yeah. Salads, soups, paninis. We started getting into the pasta and entrees, and we expanded 2 more times through the years.
So now you're in Jersey?
Yep, I'm on Route 9.
Okay, now that's a restaurant too? Or
yes, it's a restaurant and bakery.
Now what about here in Dyker Heights? That's still the bakery and
That's
wholesale?
the bakery. That's where all of our baked goods come from.
Still baked right there?
Yep.
Okay.
Everything's done, you know, like it was 25 years ago.
Okay. Now, Leone Cheese is right down the block.
Yes, that's on 15th Avenue.
And what's the relationship there?
I used to wholesale for Leone Mozzarella also.
Okay.
And Papa Pasquale Ravioli.
Right, okay.
And I still use those products in my restaurant.
And a lot of people from Brooklyn, Dyker Heights, Bay Ridge, Bensonhurst have all moved to, as we say, Staten Italy.
Yes.
And so, I mean, especially in Tottenville, you have a lot of people from Brooklyn over there. Yeah. That's great. So is it as busy in Dyker as it was years ago? Or Staten Island becoming more popular?
In Brooklyn, it's really wholesale. 90% of the business is wholesale. So when we started in Staten Island, we started wholesaling out of there, and little by little,
So where do you wholesale to? I mean, you sell to restaurants?
Yeah, my partner, he sells all over the place.
Restaurants?
So you name it.
Out west?
Out west.
All over the country?
All over the country. I think he just came back from California.
How did the name Butchie's come about? Who's Butchie?
Butchie is Irene. That's Frank's mother. Whenever somebody bothered the kids, she was always up front to stop the fight or whatnot. Meanwhile, the men were all behind. And that's how she got the nickname.
Oh, wow. That's, maybe we get her on the show and tell us how that came about.
She's the best. She's a trooper, this one.
Now she's still there. She still helps out.
Yeah, she's up there. She's in her 80s.
I haven't been there in a while. I mean, I would love to go and see her again.
She's in her 80s. She don't look like she's a day over 55.
What makes your product so different than other places?
Well, it's all about the ingredients.
Okay.
And passion.
Right. Use fresh ingredients.
Fresh ingredients all the time, and we don't try and chintz at all. Right. So you buy the best,
and you're creative. You have to be creative.
Yes.
That's
you have to use your imagination.
Now, do you have a lot of people working for you in Staten Island?
Yeah, we have about 30 employees.
Okay. Where do you live? Do you live in?
I live in Staten Island.
Staten Island. Okay. You have a family.
Right now, I'm out in Jersey. So that's a trip every day, going back and forth, trying to open up that restaurant.
I'm sure you put in crazy hours in the restaurant business. I know I used to be in the restaurant business, but it's great. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back, and I think you're going to prepare some for us.
Beautiful.
Okay. Don't go away. In a minute, Peter's going to prepare a great dish from Butchie's. Welcome back to Breaking Bread, and we have Brooklyn's own Pete Marcolini from Butchie's. He's going to prepare one of his favorite dishes from Butchie's on Staten Island, right?
Correct.
So what do we have here? What are we preparing?
Okay, we're preparing spaghetti Alfono. It's a baked spaghetti.
So spaghetti in the oven?
Yes.
In the furnace?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we just put it in at the last few minutes just to cook out the cognac.
To make it crispy too, right?
Well, we got to cook out all the alcohol.
Okay.
And it does make it a little bit drier.
Okay.
So we have some shrimp, some prosciutto di Parma.
Okay.
Onions, parsley, red pepper.
Okay.
I have some olive oil.
Virgin?
Yeah, extra virgin.
Extra virgin.
Of course. Some vegetable stock,
Okay.
heavy cream, tomato sauce. At this point, I want to add the extra virgin olive oil.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to add some diced onions.
Okay.
Okay, while the onions are cooking, just to get, I like a little brown butter when I'm cooking. It seems to give it that burnt flavor.
And it has a nice taste too with the onions, the butter and onions. All right, now this tomato sauce. You made the sauce?
Yes, it's marinara sauce.
Okay. What type of tomatoes you use?
Italian, of course.
Oh, nothing else.
Nothing but the best.
You draw your own tomatoes?
I used to in my house. Yeah, those
That's
days
it.
are over.
A lot of people in Bensonhurst, they would jar their own tomatoes every year.
You know
less
what?
and less.
The generations. Nobody has time anymore to do that stuff.
But there's nothing like that homemade.
Of course. Also, while we're here, I want you to be aware that I always pre-cook my pasta.
Okay.
Anywhere between 25 to 50% in a way. People always make that mistake of cooking their pasta the whole way. I don't like doing that. I like cooking my pasta to rest inside of my sauces. That's why I bring
most restaurants, they always par-cook their pastas.
Yes.
And if you go in the restaurant, you know, they have the pots with the dividers in them, and because people don't want to wait either. But it's good to pre-cook it.
Well, that's why I add the vegetable stock also.
Right.
So it doesn't dry out.
Right.
But your starches get released inside of your sauce. So
if you drain it, all the starch comes out.
you're losing the flavor. At this point,
These are caramelizing now.
Yes. I always add salt to my oil. And if you notice when you start doing this, you'll use less salt at the end. I like red pepper in my food.
A little spice. I always put spice in there.
Always.
I try to watch the salt, so I think I compensated with the salt, with the pepper.
I have some shrimp.
Jumbo shrimp there?
Well, I bought one jumbo and some small.
Oh, okay.
We like to...
You put that on top as a
yes,
garnish, right?
yes.
Okay. So I was in the restaurant business. I know the game.
Oh, you went to culinary school.
Everything's in the presentation.
You went to culinary school.
Now the shrimp we're gonna cook right away.
Yeah, it's very fast. While the shrimp is cooking, I'm gonna add some prosciutto di Parma. A little more, no?
A little more. You know, a lot of times people don't mix meat and fish.
Correct.
But in certain dishes, they really go
Yeah,
well
they
together.
complement each other. I'm gonna add marinara sauce. A little bit of vegetable stock.
That looks good. And the heavy cream.
Heavy cream.
Now that'll thicken it up.
Yep.
To stop sizzling there because the temperature went
Yes, the
down
temperature
right away, but
changed.
that'll come right back up.
Wait until I add the cognac. It'll start sizzling.
There you go. So
Gonna
then
add-
this is basically all cooked already, and then you're just going to finish
That's
it off.
it, yeah.
How long do you finish it off in the oven?
About 5 minutes.
Okay. All right, so now we have this sizzling, you're cooking a little bit.
As soon as it gets up to temperature, I'm gonna add the pasta.
Okay.
Mix it.
That'll absorb all the juices.
Yes, and then I'm gonna cook the rest in the oven.
So where did you learn to cook?
I learned on my own.
On your own?
On my own. Like I
Really?
said, when I was growing up, we used to sell to restaurants and catering halls,
Right.
and I was always in the kitchens.
Okay.
And I used to love watching them cook. And little by little, I learned how to cook, and everybody loved my food.
Right.
We used to do parties in my backyard, and so on and
Sometimes
so
that's
forth.
the best way.
Yeah.
You know, and you learn from the best.
In life, I did everything the hard way.
You know, a lot of times people, they go to school, they learn one way. But when you learn in the field, at least you're getting a little bit expertise and
Yes.
skill from different people. And if you're smart enough, you bring it all together and you come up with your own technique, your own style. And that's what cooking is all about.
The best way is always to start off on the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
I was a waiter, I was a busboy, cleaning toilets, and
Well, that's it. When you own a restaurant, they say you should work in every different department in the restaurant before you open a restaurant. Because you know, when your workers come up to you and they say, "Oh, I can't do this." I mean, you can't do that. I did it. I was a busboy. You know, I clean the bathrooms. I know how long it takes. I mean, you can't do it. You know, it's so true.
Okay, the shrimp is almost cooked. I just want to get a little more orange. These are all Gulf shrimp from the Gulf of Mexico.
Who do you use? You use a distributor here in Brooklyn? Or
in the Bronx.
In the Bronx.
Yeah,
so
right out of the
Bronx.
Market.
Yeah. Yep. That's where the produce market is, the fish market, the meat market. They're all up there.
Most of our stuff comes from right from the Bronx.
So tell me a little bit about your family. How many children you have? And,
I have one daughter.
One daughter, okay.
And she's going on 14 now.
All right. So you live in Staten Island?
Yes.
You commute to Jersey?
Jersey.
Every day?
Yeah. I enjoy it. I like being in the kitchen. I don't like going in the front. Then you have to talk to everyone.
I know. Most of my work was in the front of the house. I like to talk.
Well, listen, whenever you want, if you're bored.
All right.
I'll give you a side job.
I'll take you up on that. It was so funny because just about a week ago, a friend of mine moved out of Bay Ridge, and she relocated to Staten Island, Tottenville.
Oh, so she's right by me.
Oh, yeah. So I was passing there, and I saw big Aunt Butchie's there. So I knew you were there. I heard,
Next time you stop in.
I will, definitely. I mean, I know all the restaurants in Bay Ridge and Dyker Heights, and so many of them, they have other places in Staten Island, but so many of the people move from there.
So in about 2 minutes, this pasta will be hot enough to put inside of the foil.
Okay.
And we will cook the rest of it in the oven.
We get this foil. So now you have this in a little saute pan to hold it, right?
Yeah, a saute pan. And what I do is I line the saute pan with aluminum foil.
Okay.
Just want to make sure it's hot enough.
Smells good.
I hope so.
Now you put Parmesan cheese?
Normally, yes, but today I said, you know what? We have so many other ingredients. I don't want to take away from our flavor.
A lot of people don't put cheese on fish.
True.
So.
But a lot of people don't put meat with their fish either.
Yeah, exactly. Certain dishes really call for it. That really smells good. How long will you keep this in the oven now?
About 2 to 3 minutes.
Oh, just...
Yeah, as long as it's on like 400 degrees, it'll bring it up to a nice boil. And you don't serve it right away, so, we would make this a few minutes before it's gonna go out. This way it sits.
So all the liquids will absorb in there?
Yes.
Okay.
See how liquidy it is right now?
Yes.
It's all loose. It'll eventually, like, congeal.
Okay, now, the final?
You could add a little bit more. We should have a drink.
I always like to have a little extra on top.
Any kind of cognac.
Cognac, you could use.
You could use a brandy.
Brandy, that's what I said.
I'm just gonna grab this.
You got that?
Yeah. I'm gonna add the pasta. Okay. Add the sauce on top.
Wow, a lot of that sauce is absorbed already.
Yep.
Look at that. Once you put the pasta in.
What I'm gonna do right now, maybe you wanna help me.
Sure,
We're gonna fold it, yeah.
Okay. You're gonna tent it and put
Make a money bag out of it.
Oh, okay. Like that?
Yep.
You want some air in there too, right? For the steam to come up?
Just easier after I take it out of the oven.
Okay, put this in the oven here?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Close that.
Oh.
There we go.
Modern technology.
Oh, yes.
I'm not too familiar with that.
Well, in the kitchen, it's different, You're producing a lot here. This is a home kitchen, so it's
beautiful home kitchen.
Pete, don't go away. We're going to taste your pasta as soon as we get right back.
Beautiful.
Okay? Stay tuned, and in a few minutes, we're going to taste some of Pete's pasta. Welcome back to Breaking Bread, and we're here with Pete Marcolini from Ambu Chi's, and we're going to taste some of his delicious pasta Inferno.
Beautiful.
Let's taste this. Magic.
I like that. Just coming out of a 350-degree oven. It's a little hot, so.
Wow.
This is how we serve it in the restaurant.
Can I open this up for you?
Open the tin foil.
Wow, look at that steam coming out.
Add a little bit of parsley just for some color.
Okay.
Would you like to do the honors?
Of course, yeah.
I don't want to make a mess.
No.
It's your kitchen.
There you go. Put some shrimp on top. Let's see. Well, since you're the chef, you'll get the jumbo.
Thank you.
Okay. Put a little parsley on top. I can't wait to taste this. So tell me, you know, a lot of restaurants, I know you have your cakes in different supermarkets and stores. What about your food?
We've been discussing in the future, we'd like to open up numerous Ambu Chi restaurants. We want to brand the company.
Right.
So we do have other products that we are willing to start distributing. I'm still working on all the details. We have a stuffed meatball we're famous for. Me growing up, I never eat a meatball out.
A stuffed meatball?
Yeah. It's about the size of a softball.
Okay.
We stuff it with ricotta and fresh mozzarella.
Oh, nice.
And it's all beef.
Almost like a rice ball, you know, with the rice ball with the peas and the mozzarella.
100% beef, no pork, no veal inside.
I usually make mine with all three meats.
All three meats.
Tell me, there's a lot of restaurants in Staten Island now.
Yes.
Why should they come to Ambu Chi's? What are some of your signature dishes?
We make Italian egg rolls. They have sausage and broccoli rabe inside.
And then you fry them?
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds good.
Make it with a garlic demi dipping sauce. We always have new specials. We change for the season. Our busiest time of the year is really the fall time.
Okay.
In the fall, we do a lot of squashes, pumpkin. We make a pumpkin soup. We serve it in the pumpkin. You can take the pumpkin home.
Do you recognize a lot of people in the restaurant that you had in Brooklyn?
Oh, yeah, of course. The only thing that I'm grateful for, a lot of my customers, they're my friends now.
Right.
And they come and visit us frequently. So they'll be there three nights a week to eat. You know,
that's what you need. You need a following. I mean, there's so many restaurants opening up all over the place, especially, I mean, in Brooklyn, Staten Island, and you need that following, and you need good food.
Well,
you need
also,
good food.
We do have parties.
Okay.
So,
you have a catering room also?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's funny how my first customers 7 years ago, now they're this big. You know, the little kids that had their communion or whatnot, now they're big. So now they tell their friends and so on and so forth. And that's how it's a big snowball.
Tell me, you said communion. I know the churches there in Staten Island are packed because there's so many young families that have moved out of Brooklyn.
Yes.
And, some of our churches are declining, unfortunately, because so many of the families, can't afford to stay in Brooklyn anymore or Queens, and they're moving to Staten Island. And I know some of the parishes there on Sunday, they'll have like 8, 9 masses. They're filled with families and
can't even make it down the street.
That's unbelievable. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Which parish do you go to?
St. Clair's.
St. Clair's, okay.
Yes.
Been there a number of times.
Yeah, beautiful.
Beautiful church. And there's a school attached to there, or there's a regional school there? Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Well, that's great. That's the Archdiocese of New York. It's not part of Brooklyn. Yeah. But they have to go through Brooklyn, our diocese, to get to the Archdiocese of New York. But Staten Island is part of the Archdiocese of New York. So
you should learn something new every day.
Oh, yeah. And years ago, before the bridge, they would have to take the ferry, from Manhattan to go across. So now they have to come through Brooklyn and to get to the Archdiocese, the cathedral in St. Patrick's on 5th Avenue. Usually, I have to say, Pete, that I usually do the cooking, but since you cooked this delicious meal here, I have to taste it.
Bon appetit.
Okay, you gonna taste it? You'll have me taste it.
Hopefully one day you'll cook for me.
All right, I'll come over. I'll come to the restaurant. Let's see.
Pasta's still al dente.
First of all, you taste the cognac right away. I think that was that extra dab that I put in.
Yep.
And let me taste one of these shrimp. Now, if you wanted to, if you don't want to use shrimp, you can use other seafood, scallops, or
lobster, scallops,
crab meat.
There's no rules in cooking.
As we know.
It's an art.
It's very good. The flavors all came together. I mean, but that cognac you really taste.
That's the best part.
And the cognac is a good complement to seafood, too. It's always a good combination.
Yep.
So it really brings out those best flavors.
All my dishes, I try to have, I want every ingredient to complement each other.
You come up with all the new recipes? And...
I try. But I do have chefs that work with me, and we do come up with different things. We make everything from scratch, even our salad dressings.
So tell me, what's your favorite restaurant in Staten Island?
Oh, I have a few of them.
A few of them. The best?
Yeah, I like going to Esca or Mario's. I also go to Angelina's.
Oh, Angelina's, yeah.
Yeah.
What about Butchie's? That's not your best?
When you look at the food all day, it's the
I
last
thought for
thing
sure
you
you would say Ambu Chi's.
No, when you look at this every day.
No, there's a lot of great restaurants in Staten Island, which is, it's good. It's a destination, and that's what you want.
Yes.
You know, a lot of times people don't want competition, but you don't want to be the only place in an area because no one's going to come. But if they go...
I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't mean to cut you short, but right next door to me is Nucci's.
Okay.
And we help each other. People in the restaurant business have to realize that by fighting other people, you're not going anywhere in life. But when you stick together, you always need help, no matter how good you are.
So Pete, tell me, you grew up in Dyker Heights.
Correct.
Where'd you go to school?
St. Bernadette.
Okay.
When I was growing up, I really wasn't a good kid.
What was that experience
Well,
like?
a lot of my friends at the time, we had that little clique, and most of them were getting suspended or thrown out of school. And then I had Sister Nicolina, and she came up to me and she says, I'm not throwing you out. I'm gonna break you. And little by little, she worked with me and
They
she
were
broke
tough.
me. Yeah. And I used to hang out on 13th Avenue, cut school, go into the candy store, go hang out there, smoke cigarettes. And I would see Msgr Saporito.
Sure, oh yeah.
And every time I saw,
legend in the past,
every time
he
I
used to
saw
sit
him,
on that chair outside of St. Bernadette.
That's right.
With the chair backwards, with his T-shirt on.
Yeah.
So many people talked about that, but he was a street priest. I mean, he was out there with the people, and he watched what went on, and that's what we need more of today.
I know. Well, getting to that, every time I saw him, he would give me a smack, and I would go home and tell my father, Msgr Saporito hit me. So my father said, you probably deserved it. So then we used to go to Sunday Mass, and on the way out, Msgr Saporito used to shake everyone's hand. And he told my father, I still remember, he says, I hit your son once in a while. So my father says, what did he do wrong? He goes, I don't know, but just in case he ever does, he'll think about it. See, today if you do that...
That's a great story, that's wonderful.
Today if you do that, you're in trouble.
That's so true, that's so true. But that's wonderful, and how you remember that. The impact that the church, the sisters, the priest had on your life. And it's who you are today.
Of course.
And,
they made me.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
They made me.
And as you said earlier in the show that, you really weren't an academic, and that's how, your passion for food, working with your family, brought you to this point.
Yes,
and,
it did.
Once
grateful.
again, to use, whatever God deals you make the best of it.
Yes.
And you've done a great job.
God only gives you what you can handle.
That's so true. Oh, that's wonderful. That's a great story. That's it's good to hear so many positive stories about the church and schools and Catholic education is so important today because we don't smack the kids anymore. We're not allowed to do that. But the compassion, the love, the learning environment that children have in a Catholic school is just unbelievable, and it does have an impression on their lives, and hopefully it gives them that foundation to believe in themselves and to make the best out of life. That's wonderful.
Today, children need a little bit of everything. They need balance in their life.
Exactly.
So it has to be love, hate, fear, kindness. So if you just provide kindness, people seem to take advantage.
That's true. That's true. Now you're trying. Hopefully you're trying to pass this to your children.
Oh, of course.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
Or you say your daughter. Right?
Yes.
That's wonderful. Peter, thank you for being here today, taking the time to share your life story and to sharing some of your great skills and talents and a little bit about Ambu Chi's. And I will definitely be out there to see you.
Appreciate the opportunity.
I may even give you a hand in the kitchen.
I wish.
I hope you enjoyed this today's episode of Breaking Bread and Pete's cooking and learn a little bit about Ambu Chi's, not just the bakery, but the restaurant in Staten Island and the new one coming out in New Jersey. See you next time on Breaking Bread. On today's episode of Breaking Bread, we saw how Pete's foundation of a Catholic education, the church, really formed him and made him who he is today. We saw how his passion for his family and for food and his love for his cooking and his love for those people that meant so much to him really shaped his life and made Ambu Chi's into an everyday name. Today, we're reminded that we have to use the foundation that we receive from our education, our Catholic education, our church, our family and friends to make us who we should be today.